Hi, and welcome to the 17th in these weekly devotionals on the BUTs of the Bible, the great butts of the Bible. And for this week, we're turning to 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 6. Paul says, I planted the seed, Apollos watered it, but God made it grow. I guess like lots of us in lockdown, we've been doing more gardening than we do normally here at the manse. But unfortunately, Wendy knows a little bit about gardening, and I know even less. And we're really grateful for one of our neighbours who's a real green-fingered expert and been helping us out with what's a plant and what's a weed. And Paul uses in this verse a garden illustration. He says God chooses us to be his fellow gardeners, or as he puts it later on in the chapter in verse 9, fellow workers. And we've all got our different roles. Paul was the planter, he was the proclaimer of the good news. Apollos, another of the great early church leaders, was the developer of the right conditions for Christian discipleship and growth. But Paul in this verse reminds us that God is the creator, the one who brings about spiritual growth. Now I wanted to bring you out today to show you our tomato plant. There we are, that's our tomatoes. And as you can see, we've got a few growing here. And what happened was that our youngest daughter found somebody who was giving away little seedlings, and she brought them home, and Wendy cultivated them in a pot, and they began to very slowly grow. Our neighbour instructed us and helped us in what we needed to do to grow this tomato plant. Our other daughter watered it regularly, and I had the task of going and buying the grow bag to transplant it into. We all had our different roles. Now initially, as we watched this plant grow, it didn't seem to grow very quickly, and it wasn't bearing any fruit. But eventually there was some growth. It grew, as you can see, and it grew, and it began to bear just little signs of fruit. But that fruit was very small and wasn't ripe. But then finally we had some ripe looking tomatoes growing on our tomato plant, which we were really pleased about, really proud of, and really enjoyed eating. It took some time, it took some effort, and it took some of God's great creation skills to bring it about. And maybe the lesson for us as Christians is that sometimes we don't grow in the way we should because we want the roles that others have, or maybe we even want to play the role that only God has. But when we get in the right place with God, doing the right thing and allowing him to bring about real growth, that's when it gets exciting. That's when it's fun, and that's when it's fruitful. So I hope you'll be growing this week in all that God wants you to do, where he wants you to do it, and you'll see him doing remarkable things through and in you and in the lives of others. God bless you this week. Amen.